did. I did get some response on last week's show and what you did.
What did I do?
You gave me that red light blanket.
And what happened?
One of our listeners looked me up.
Uh-huh.
And she said she just could not believe how nice a guy you were to go and do all that for me.
Yes.
She said that was just the nicest, most thoughtful guy.
Well, I thought, I benefit from it because, I go running every day for 4 miles and stuff, and I'm not a young spry anymore. So my wife got me that red light blanket, and I laid on. I was like, hey, this kind of feels good. And I couldn't think of another better person. After I showed, like I said on that week's show, I turned that thing on, Mike, and the red lights, if you're watching us here, and don't forget for every podcast we do. Can you assume that communication is 80% owner and 20% farrier? Because if I'm a farrier and I walk into someone's barn, they go, all right, here's my horse, shoe it, and I go, am I going to ask like your top 10 questions? What is your horse doing? Is he doing this? Is he doing that? Can you put some of the responsibility on the farrier to ask the certain questions?
Well, yes.
I think 100% of the responsibility ought to be on the farrier, using your analogy there, because the farrier ought to care.
Yes.
And he ought to look into this horse and say, listen, your horse, this is not correct about your horse. Are you having this problem? Are you having, yes, I'm having that. Well, let's you and I talk about it. Let's fix it. That would be perfect communication. But the problem is we really, they don't have enough good farriers. And they're working night and day practically, And so if you don't involve yourself into your farrier, then you really can't blame him for not.
Mike, you were going to say something?
Farriers have to learn to look up and not just at feet.
Absolutely.
Also, we discussed on how a saddle fit affects the feet of the horse. Jim?
Well, anytime your saddle doesn't fit correctly on your horse, you can adjust it a little bit, but the way to fix it is to find out if you have a low hip or you have a low shoulder and shoe that to where it's back level and then your saddle will fit.
Well, we appreciate each and every one of you for listening to us, downloading us, and sharing us with all your friends. Don't forget to follow us over on Facebook. Make sure you subscribe to Mike Stein over on YouTube. And if you have a question for Mike Stein, go to equinedynamics.com. At the top of the page, you can join the podcast at any time. Your voice can be heard right alongside of us. We broadcast every Monday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Get your voice in now. We only have a couple more shows left to season 14, then we're going to take a couple weeks off and come back strong with season 15. So get yours in now. We'd love to hear from you.